We could see a House vote today on Speaker Kevin McCarthy's plan to try to raise the federal debt limit. Early this morning, the House Rules Committee approving terms of debate for that bill, but unclear if it has enough overall Republican support. Joining us right now is GOP Congressman Jason Smith, Missouri, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. And I will start there. Is there enough support?
Absolutely. The question is will it be later today or tomorrow? But we clearly have enough Republican votes, according to my math, to pass this bill and send it over to the Senate. What we do know is the White House and the Senate has refused to negotiate whatsoever, and hopefully they'll come to the table after House Republicans send this over to them.
Congressman Smith, does your math include the 8 Republicans in corn states that say they're not going to vote for it because of ethanol? Does it include the 6 other members, including Matt Gaetz and George Santos, who have said they're not going to vote for it? How do you get the math?
Now, I'm not going to say what members are where and who's for and against, but I will tell you that I'm confident that we have the votes from the math that we've done. I've been part of negotiations for the last 3 months with House Republicans and helping craft this package. Speaker McCarthy has done an incredible job, and we're going to deliver that today.
I don't know if this is like a blink once for this or a blink twice. Becky just reeled off a number of names, which I think you're all familiar with. Our audience is familiar with. The public, obviously, these are elected officials, are familiar with. Can you give us a sense? Are any of those names voting in favor of this?
I think you need to ask them. I'm not going to speak for themselves, because whenever you do whip votes, that's
I know, but it feels like you are speaking for them in some way without trying to speak for them. You see what I mean?
So let me just say this. You can only lose 4 votes. We will have enough votes to pass it. So we're only going to lose just a handful of votes, and we will pass it out of the House of Representatives. And you just listed way more than a handful of votes.
Yeah,
so
right.
I guarantee you we will have the votes to move this.
Is it clean, or are there changes and amendments being made to it?
There was a couple amendments made in the Rules Committee last night that addressed a lot of the concerns of
like
the biofuels, the Iowa folks. Those were made in the Rules Committee last night. And there was also a few modifications in regards to some work requirements. But we're moving forward and going to have the votes on the floor.
The concern was if any changes were made, like ethanol or anything else, that it would mean other members would come forward and talk about what they would like to have added too. Is that the case, or do you feel like you've got everything you need changed at this point to actually have those votes?
I feel confident we have the votes, but the big concern is that the fact that House Democrats are not even willing to help work. We have been crystal clear that we need to increase the debt limit and we need to address some kind of fiscal reforms. There's not a red line of saying it has to be A, B, or C. We just need something. We need the White House to negotiate with us. We cannot allow our country to default, and it's reckless that President Biden's refusing to negotiate with House Republicans. Hopefully, whenever we pass this, he believes that we don't have the votes. He believes that Republicans can't pass it. Think about this. I have never, in my tenure as a member of Congress, ever voted for a debt limit increase, but I helped craft this legislation. I'm voting for it. It's a right thing for America.
Chairman, what do you think of the idea, though? And I think some of the Democrats would say that it is reckless to be using this debt limit as a negotiating ploy, if you will, that effectively there should be a clean raise, and if you want to discuss the budget, but that these should not be connected or related the way they are, or the way they have been in this instance. Well, then they must not be following
They must not be following history, because this has been the norm. What is not the norm is a blank check increase. They never did that under Trump. They tried to say that they did. They did it 3 times, and it was always tied to something. In fact, the 11 largest fiscal reforms in history since 1985 were tied to the debt limit. In fact, the one that was led by Vice President Biden under Obama in negotiating the caps agreement in 2011.
Were you surprised that President Trump, I think it was back in 2019, said that the debt limit should not be used as a chess piece in this way?
You should never use anything as a chess piece. But you know what? When you're raising the debt, the American people deserve fiscal responsibility and accountability. And that's exactly what we do in this bill. We cut $4.8 trillion and we raise the debt limit $1.5 trillion.
Chairman, we will see what happens over the next 24 hours. So we look forward to having you back on the program as this hopefully develops one way or the other.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.